Hello, and welcome back to the channel. In this episode, we're going to go over how I laminate my big pieces, or anything for that matter. Did you know that traces of laminated wood have been found by archaeologists in the tombs of the pharaohs? The Chinese shaved wood and glued it together more than 1,000 years ago. That is absolutely crazy. My name is Jeff Mohr. I'm the Northwoods Carver, and thanks for seeing what I saw. Howdy. I've had a lot of questions from other carvers. I just had a carver call me this morning and ask me some questions about laminating. And it's a very, very basic process. I mean, it's as simple or as difficult as you want to make it according to the project. But the basics are there, and it's just basically glue between two pieces of wood and then you smash it. Well, hang on, let me put this down. All right, so what we're going to do today is my wife and I, my beautiful assistant, will be laminating some small sections together. And according to my eyeballs, we don't have much for Gorilla Glue. So what we're going to do is use some SC110. And I think what we're going to do is mix that, and it's going to have to set overnight, preferably. So there is a time issue, like with the Gorilla Glue. It's like an hour in this temperature, 45 minutes, and it's ready to go. Which is awesome if you're trying to move through a project. Even if this is kiln dried wood, you just spray some water on, let it soak in a little bit, good to go. It is a polyurethane base, so it needs moisture to activate and to really take off. So as far as kiln dried wood, I prefer to use that method, or when it's not available, like say if I'm out of glue or I don't have enough for the project, I'll even use Type Bond 2 for laminated wood, dried wood, kiln dried wood. You're going to want that water-based glue for dry wood, and the Gorilla Glue for damp wood or wet wood. You don't want to try to put a water-based glue on a wet piece of wood. It just doesn't work out. It just turns to goo, and it never seems to dry, and it's not a good deal. So let's just break those basics down. Kiln dried wood, you use a water-based glue. You can use, Gorilla Glue as well. Just make sure you dampen the surface, pretty much. And if your wood's wet or somewhat green, Gorilla Glue is the way to go. Also, temperature makes a great big difference. Like in the shop right now, I think we're at 68 probably, and it's even a little bit warmer up here. But so we're not going to have a long dry time on either one. It's going to take very little time for the Gorilla Glue to set up if we were to use it, and it's only going to take maybe 24 hours for that SC110 to just get hard as a rock. So these are the pieces that we are going to be laminating. So I threw them on just nice and clean. I mean, there's some knots and stuff. I'm not as worried about that kind of thing, little splits, because when I'm done, we usually just go over the whole thing and fix all the splits and cracks. And to me, it's not a big deal. It's all kiln dried. It's not going anywhere. It's not going to move anymore. So not all that concerned about it. So anyway, we're going to take my archery table, which is technically my lamination table, and I'm going to just move this kind of stuff away. We'll move that out, and then we'll get to we'll get to the lamination process. There you have it. That's all I know so far. I'm back. I'm still here. I never left. So I get a lot of questions about how to laminate, how I laminate, and a lot of times my videos have fast forward, so you really can't see it in detail. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give you a pretty straightforward, basic way to do things. Today I'm going to use, instead of the SC110, I'm going to put some Titebond 2 on here, and that'll be our adhesive. And this has all been router sledded down, so like I'll take these sections, each one of these is, I think this is 3 6x6s. Well, they're not now. They got routered down and they got planed or joined down. So they're smaller. I don't know, they're probably 5x5s or something. So now this is going to be the body of the Lady of the Lake. If that makes sense. So her torso, this will be her torso from her butt to the top of her shoulder. And then her head will come off of that, and then we'll have legs and whatnot. But I got to figure all this out. But for right now, we just need to get this chunk done. By the way, the Lady of the Lake is going to be smaller than an actual, normal person. So about the size of my wife Pam. So she's about that big. Sorry.
Smaller than the size of a normal person.
Here. Come on over here.
Smaller than the size of a normal
Come on over
person.
here. Can you see over the table? Yep.
You listening to this? Wow. Feel the love today, people.
She's actually the model for it. So
Yes.
I'm not going to try to do the face like Pam's, but she's definitely the model. She's got. Oh, jeez! I thought you were gonna hit me. That's great. I saw the hair come up and.
Yeah, because I beat him all the time, whether he needs it or not.
Yes, you do.
Wow.
All right. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna do what we always do. We're just gonna put a layer of glue, and then we place the block. Then what we're gonna do is take the impact and these here little screws. I don't know what size they are. Maybe 2 1/4, 2 1/2, 2 1/4. I don't know. They're not very big, but we're going to use these to hold these other pieces in place, because they're going to want to scoot around once we've got a nice liquid layer of glue on here. So Pam is my assistant, and she will be doing most of the hard stuff while I supervise. Just kidding. Who am I kidding? I always do all the hard stuff. All right. Once we get this glued up and all this, we're just going to put a couple screws in to hold it in place. Then we'll slide this thing to the edge, and we'll get some clamps on it. And technically, it'll be screwed, so we could flip it up on end and then clamp it up. So that's cool too. And we have our paper down, so we're not going to get it all over our beautiful marble top. Anyway, so there we go. You ready to begin?
I'm ready.
Flavors. Caffeine and flavors. Okay, so let's go. Are you guys ready? Let's go. That hurt my head. You'd think you'd feel these little ripples from the machine, and it doesn't have any effect on it. Matter of fact, I prefer it to have those because it gives it a place for glue to go.
Yep.
All right.
To get in those grooves. Real beautiful.
So this is the hard part. Ooh. Yeah, buddy. It's not hard at all. It's fun. But to be a professional, you have to look like one. right? I think that's it. That's all there is.
You don't have to be one, you just have to look like one.
So let me tell you why I love my job so much. For people who are watching this, that are not wood carvers. If in school you like art class, this might be the ticket for you. Remember, you used to go in there and you'd be doing different stuff all the time. One day you'd be painting, another day you'd be messing around with clay. Another time it's drawing 101 or whatever, you're just sketching still lifes and, you know, whatever. It's a nice break from mundane work, and you could be as creative as you wanted to be, and you were doing it basically on your own time. I mean, there's a deadline scenario with art class, but I never did well with
follow the due date?
I never followed anything when it came to art in school, because I just thought it was, no offense to my art teacher, but it was I'm not going to be as cocky and say it was beneath me, but it kind of was, because I was like, when I first started it, I had been drawing for years. So when I first started art class in high school, I was doing that stuff when I was in like 4th grade, literally. And so it was a little awkward. Is it? That's how I got a crease or crack?
Yeah.
Okay, that's the one we want here.
Oh, this one, though. This one's very nice.
Oh, does it?
It does.
Okay.
This one has a crack here, and this one has a
Yeah,
crack
this
here.
one here. What?
Sign it.
No, let's just do what we had. Let's just do it like we had. Yeah, so I've been drawing for years, and I was used to it, right? And so when I couldn't wait to take art classes, I wanted to learn. I just didn't know that I wasn't going to be very good at learning.
Or following instructions.
Or yeah, that part.
I think it was more about following instruction, not necessarily.
Also, this is one thing. It'd be cool if, when you're young, you could pick your teacher, your art teacher, or because when you're young, you pick your mentors, You pick the dudes or the ladies that you admire and respect, and then you follow that example, and they're your source of information and confidence moving forward. And what if you don't have any confidence in a guy that you don't even know? Who you're not even sure why he's the art teacher. Great. That's not good. There was a little break. So, it wasn't like there was a bunch of this guy's work on the wall where the kids can go, man, he's awesome. I can't wait to learn from that guy. It was none of that. It was just...
I mean, they always had the diplomas in their office, but that.
So there was, I was excited about art as a young man. I still am. Trust me, I'm still plenty excited about it. But it's sort of like you go to school and it's like, no, that's your art teacher. And you're like, well, how do I know? I mean, I was a fan of like Frank Frazetta. I loved like the Conan illustrations and all that stuff when I was growing up. Some of the superhero stuff was outstanding. And I could look at the name of the person that drew that and say, that guy, I want to be like that guy. But a teacher for me, I had to I needed to see that guy's work, and I guess I never knew to ask him. I just thought, wouldn't it be cool if he was an extra good artist, and I was going to be happy and thankful to learn from him.
Sure.
You know, somebody comes here and they want to learn how to carve wood, because I do teach those classes. Actually, they're wood shop. They're actually, it's basically a workshop. I don't want to call it like art lessons or anything like that, because it's a workshop. You come here and you work, you figure it out. I help you figure it out. I help you see, basically. If you could go somewhere, like you would have already had to see my work, you already would have to have met me and understood my personality, my quirks, and my whatever. And then you can say, yeah, I can work with that. Or, no, that guy's, he's loony. He's a man-child. I don't want to play around that guy. I don't want to have sharp things in my hands when I'm around that guy. And I don't want sharp things in that guy's hands when he's around me. But since that's not the case, I'm not crazy. I'm a little, what's the word? Man-childy?
Man-child fit pretty well.
Man-child, yeah, that's me. Anyway, and I do not care that people think of me as a man-child. Kind of the way I like it. You know exactly what you're getting. But when you go to school and they say, that guy's your teacher, and you're like, why? Like, he just looks like a normal guy. Because kids don't know about, you know, college and all the academia. They don't know. They don't care. Kids want to be impressed by something. Adults do too. Like, you go take guitar lessons from a guy, you totally want to have that guy be a dang good guitar player. And you don't want to just have him playing A, B, C, D, whatever. A, B, C, D. You don't want to just have him playing row, row, row your boat like he wants you to play. You want to hear him shred. So you can go, yeah, I'm going to listen to that dude. He's got this dialed in. He can play well beyond my imagination, and that's the kind of guy you should take up as your, if you can, if they're around. You don't have to know the person to get mentored by him, but crack on the inside. Where it belongs. All right. This one. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, we do more stuff.
You know what? Let's put the crack on the outside. Where are you going? Where are you going? Hold on.
Here we go.
Oh. Yeah. So it's a much easier sell, at least for me, when I'm trying to learn something from somebody, they at least have to be qualified, not just qualified. For me to be inspired, they got to be amazing, not just qualified. You know?
Qualified?
Like those guys that you can just go online and get a marriage license thing where you can marry people. It's sort of like that. It's like, you really want to get married, or you know, you're not thinking about going to seminary school. You're just going to do the online one. I don't know if people do that. I don't know if it's a thing or not. But.
We know people that have.
Oh yeah, you just pay a fee. pay a fee, and then, you know, but I'm not gonna, I might let the guy marry me, but, I mean, not marry me, but, okay, you know, perform the service, not actually marry me. I'm sure he's a nice guy. He's not gonna get married. I'm already married. Thank you. Thank you. All right, so I think what we have. Why is that hanging off so far? It's all this side's flat.
Yeah.
It's all right. So when you do these, I prefer to go off on the ends. Simply because if you go on the sides, these edges, they'll just break. Screw just acts like a wedge. There, she's all done up, and now we'll put some clampage on it. So like I was saying, it was hard for me to learn from someone that I didn't, I was too young to respect him as a person, let alone as an artist. You know, when you're in your teens and you just don't care. Yeah, I was one of those kids. And he didn't impress me. He couldn't have impressed me. I never saw his work, never once, in the whole time I was there. And I don't know if it was one of those things where it's a problem with, like, some of those kids in that classroom might have been better than he is, but he was never going to let us know, and we never would find out. It's easier to keep your reign of supremacy when you keep everybody in the dark about what your capabilities are. It's like having somebody walking around with a NASCAR uniform on, or, you know, the helmet, but can't drive a lift. Doesn't have a car. That's how my 17-year-old, or 14, 15-year-old brain took it. Back to it, so we're just going to do the same thing again, just on a smaller scale. Less glue. I don't know about you guys, but to me, it's a lot easier to learn from somebody that you've seen their work, you know, and you like their work, or you want to aspire to be like that person. I mean, there's some you can take away from just about everybody you run into. I mean, some lessons on how to be, other lessons on what you'll never do in your life. That guy is a total schmuck. I will never do what that guy did. Not because not because I can't, because it's immoral or whatever, you know. There's those kind of dudes out there. So those of you that are not in wood carving whatsoever, but love a challenge and love dealing with crisis, you get to, the cool thing is if you like to draw, I got it from here. If you like to draw, that's really good because you're going to need to. And I've been around a lot of wood carvers, and a lot of them tell you they can't draw. But what it boils down to is, do you need to draw? And my answer to that is absolutely. I think you need to. Even a child can draw. I mean, even if it's a horrible drawing of whatever it is that it doesn't matter. You still gotta. I'm a little outspoken when it comes to that. I believe that one art leads into the next, into the next, into the next. So if if you understand what it's like to be a high quality, highly sought after instrumentalist, guitar player, or whatever, you understand what it took to get to that point. And if you apply that same artistic method to any other art you or anything you do, period, it's gonna pay off in spades, right? So, but anyway, that's just basically what I do for lamination. It gets a little bit more complicated when you got bigger pieces that are attached to a base, and now you have to attach pieces that are big to that piece as you go up, and you have to add. It gets really interesting at that point. So anyway, that's how I do it. Key thing is when you're doing multiples on top of one another, you know, we don't have like a wood press that smash all the wood together. So I like to just take a couple screws and just keep them from floating around. Throw the clamps on. And that's it. Hope everyone learned a little something, or maybe they just laughed. I don't know. I could see where it'd be funny if you actually knew what you were doing, because I just glue wood together and I smash it together with stuff that's clamping. That's it.
That's one lucky lady.